Nah, it's good.
All right, cool. Should we start it?
I mean, you just ran the intro.
I mean, I'm gonna rerun it. I just wanted to test it.
Go for it.
Where is my notes? All right. Here we go. Running the intro now.
The wrong intro.
Wait, what? Was it the right intro or the wrong intro? Hello and welcome to episode. Wait, what was wrong about that intro?
You didn't do the podcast one. You did the video one.
Oh, you know what? You're right. And just for that, we're gonna run. We're gonna run it again.
One more time. Run it back.
Hello and welcome to episode 138 of the Pixel Street Podcast. If you didn't know, I am actually still a part of this podcast. I have not died, despite what people have said about me the past few weeks, but I'm here. I have a slight tan.
I haven't heard any of that.
I have a slight tan from sitting in the sun in beautiful Las Vegas at my parents' house. It was a great week, but I'm here now. Swam a little bit. I'm alive and well, but we're here to talk about video games and John's Nacho Cheese Machine.
I don't even want to think about food at the moment, so let's just move on.
All right. This week we are going to be talking about Xbox Live Gold, where it stands, I guess, compared to PlayStation Plus right now. We're going to talk about a potential E3 paywall that could happen, amongst other things. What we've been playing, there's a body pillow topic we're going to talk about. Connor's very excited about that. But
I am. I'm beyond excited. I can't wait.
But yeah, before we get to that, let's get some housekeeping out of the way. First, you can follow us on Twitter by searching @PixelStreet over there. And you can check out our pinned tweet there to join our Discord server. There's an invite there. We are actually going to be playing Among Us this Saturday, is the plan, because the new map for it just dropped this week.
Yeah, it was like yesterday, I believe, yeah.
Cool.
It's called Airship.
So
it's what I know of it. I haven't played it yet. It's the biggest map yet, and they added in new things where now each round you choose where you spawn into the map. And then also there's like moving parts of it now. There's like conveyor belts or ladders that change or something. So pretty cool.
Cool. So yeah, if you would like to join us this Saturday, that would be April 3rd. Feel free to join our Discord by joining our invite link over in the comments below on YouTube or on our Twitter feed, our pinned tweet. Also,
if we have to, we'll host multiple lobbies.
Yeah, that's definitely, because I think last time we ran over, didn't we? We had some people.
We
just
were
kind
really
of chilling.
close.
We had, I think, at one time we had one or two people just hanging out, waiting to get in. But yeah, our podcast goes live every Friday morning at 8 a.m. on your podcast platform of choice, whether that's iTunes, SoundCloud. Yeah, I guess we are on SoundCloud, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, if that's still a thing. I haven't had an Android in 10 years. Is it a thing?
I don't use Google Podcasts, so I don't know.
Okay, well,
That's
if
how
you
know
listen,
you've been doing this for a while. You just don't know what platforms you're on anymore.
Just search for Pixel Street Podcast, and if we're not there, hit us up. We'll put it there.
Yeah, let us know. I'll make it go.
We're probably not aware.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's about it. Check out our YouTube channel. John and Connor here have been playing It Takes Two, and they've been uploading their adventures with that game. And I'm sure we're going to talk about that quite a bit today.
Yep. We'll talk about it later.
I'm excited what they have to say about it. Yeah. Be sure to leave a like or rating. Let us know the good or bad. Dude, I have not been on a podcast in a while, and you could tell. Be sure to tell us the good or bad of what we're doing, like my stumbling around right now. We're live now, so you can check that out. Sometimes we're live on Wednesday, sometimes we're live on Thursday, sometimes we're not live at all. So consistency.
But the important thing is that it will always be up at least by Friday.
Exactly.
Sometimes we're late on that too.
if you want to know when we go live, that's not going to happen. But what you can do is use the notifications bell
Yeah.
to get notified when we do go live. So if that's
Someday
your
we'll
thing,
be professional, but that
I
day
mean,
is not today.
our schedules are just so inconsistent with one another. Like,
Yeah,
like
we're all
me,
over the place.
me just watching our podcast chat as John and Connor were trying to organize a time to play It Takes Two is infuriating. Because John's like, hey,
It's
true.
John will just message at like 4:28 p.m. Hey Connor, are you free to play now? Nothing for 2 hours.
No, that's like 4:28 a.m.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know what you're talking
Ex-
about.
exactly.
I have not done that lately.
But here's what happens: nothing for 2 hours, and then Connor's like, "Yeah, I'm free now. Let's do it." And like
and then
expecting
at that point, I'm not
yeah,
free.
exactly. Like it's like Connor's expecting John to have been sitting at his Xbox waiting for him for the past 2 hours.
Yeah.
Listen, man, it's just how things are. Life's busy. Things are happening. Things are moving. That's what we do.
Just a
Yeah.
whole back and forth. But anyway, let's get into some of our main topics here.
All right.
Xbox Live, huh? How about it? These are the games with gold for April 2021, and this is part of the topic because like Xbox has fallen off the rails when it comes to Xbox Live Gold. You could tell they're putting all of their eggs into Game Pass, and like practically,
Which is the right move.
It is the right move. I
But-
agree.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
But
why not
we'll-
just? I don't know.
We'll get
We're-
to that here in a second. Read off those games with gold for me.
All right. So I'm going to read the games with gold, and then we're going to read the PlayStation Plus games for the month. Games with gold for the month of April. From April 1st to 30th, you have Vikings, Wolves of Midgard. April 16th to May 15th, you have Truck Racing Championship. Hell yeah, let's
that's a real
go.
winner right there.
And then for the backwards compatible games for 360, you have Dark Void and Hardcore Uprising. Game I've literally never
Don't
heard
know.
of. And then here are the PlayStation Plus games, which blow these away. Oddworld Soulstorm, which, if I'm not mistaken, that's a launch day title, right?
Yep, that is a launch day on April 6th. That will be free for all PSN users on PlayStation 5, not
Yep.
PS4.
PS5. And then for PS4, you have Days Gone and Zombie Army 4, Dead War, or Zombie Army Dead War.
You got it right the first time.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, these are drastically different titles from both. John, what do you think? What's going on here?
Yeah, no, that's why I brought up this whole thing is because this is not the first month we've seen these kind of offerings. Like PlayStation has done a really good job since the PS5 launched of not only just putting out quality PS4 games, but also exciting PS5 games like Oddworld Soulstorm, Destruction All Stars. Is that what it was called? And
Yeah.
then Bug Snacks were all just brand new PS5 games. Yeah, I had a lot of problems with Destruction All Stars, but that's still a really exciting. I think that was a first party game too. So like these are really exciting titles to be just free for any of your subscribers to play going forward as long as they're subscribed during that month. Me, I really love Oddworld, so I'm so excited that this is going to be free on PS5 and I'm going to be able to grab it. But then you look at the Xbox side, January was a pretty good month. But outside of that, they've just really been lacking in quality titles. And with Game Pass just taking off and Game Pass Ultimate being the unequivocal best deal in gaming for us, including EA Play, all these Xbox first-party games, day and date, hundreds and hundreds of other games. Like, at some point, you have to really question, is it even worth charging for Xbox Live Gold anymore? Like, I really believe more and more as more time goes by, I really think we're hitting a point where Game Pass Ultimate just needs to be their only subscription model and to just make Xbox Live free. Now they're starting to kind of move towards that, but they also recently were going to give Xbox Live Gold a price hike until everyone let them know just how bad of an idea that was,
That was
and
bizarre.
rightfully so.
When I saw that, on
Yeah, that was
Twitter,
Yeah.
so weird. That made absolute no sense, and it still makes no sense. Like,
I think it was so out of left field because it was completely opposite of everything they'd done years prior. I mean, it was every step so far had been very consumer friendly, very
Hmm.
offer and value heavy, which was awesome. And then they came out of left field and said, "Hey, we're gonna hike price on something that we've been charging for years.
That
Our
really shouldn't
competitor
be
just
charged
came to the
for
same
anyway.
price, right? That you don't pay for on PC." And you talk about Nintendo Switch, and obviously, I don't think that their online offerings are fantastic, but $20 for a year of online services, that's another thing that you have to add to the conversation when you talk about still continuing to charge people just to play online for games that they have to buy separately anyway. Um, so yeah, I could certainly see a world where Xbox Live Gold moves to free. I mean, we saw that recent rebranding with the Xbox Network or whatever they're calling it now, which maybe that's
XPN.
the first step towards this. Maybe that's the rebranding kind of pushes them to where they can have a model that Game Pass kind of takes up the forefront of, which is probably a smart call. Game Pass is awesome; it's doing gangbusters. But I think you can draw a clear line and see where that focus shifted because 5-6 years ago, I think the Xbox Live games with gold offerings were fantastic. Oftentimes, they blew PlayStation Plus offerings out of the water, and just in terms of value and the types of games that you would get much newer, much hotter offerings on that Xbox side, which was really cool. But as they started to shift towards that Game Pass, you could tell they stopped spending money in that department. They stopped making really cool exclusive deals, and yeah, I totally agree. It's kind of gone by the wayside at this point, and um, I really haven't cared about games with gold in 2 years at this point. I mean,
Yeah.
coming
I,
close on
I'd
that.
say
Whereas it
I'd
used
say
to be like I have to download every
Mhm.
single month, every game.
I'd
Yeah,
say
Marcus games I
shortly.
didn't download until yesterday. Well, actually, I didn't even download them. I just claimed them because
Hmm.
Yeah,
it was some llama game and then like two other games that I just never heard of. And like, yeah,
Yeah,
maybe at some point, if I have absolutely nothing to play in this age where my backlog is constantly filled with dozens and dozens of games, maybe I'll just give it a try. But like, odds are, most of the time, those games I just don't stick with. I mean, there's a few outliers in there, of course, over all the years that I've downloaded them, but like, you can just see just such a stark dip off in quality there. And I don't know, it just really doesn't make sense anymore to be charging for this when you have Game Pass, which is just blowing it out of the water and just nailing
yeah.
pretty much every single hit that it throws lately. So
in my opinion, I think that Games with Gold dropped off shortly after Game Pass kind of took off. Right,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
yeah,
I'd say there was probably a solid 4 to 6 months after Game Pass launched that Games with Gold was probably steady with what it had been doing prior. But in
mhm.
all honesty, I think that their price hike idea that kind of leaked. Or no, did it? No, I think it leaked and
No,
then they
they
announced
announced
it.
it.
But
yeah, yeah.
either way, it was a terrible idea. But I think that them doing
Mhm.
that was to see, like if everybody was all right with it, like if nobody really cared, if they're like, oh, okay, Xbox Live is going up, like obviously they knew they were going to get backlash, but not as much as they did. I think that that was their way of tipping their toes in the water to say, okay, now Game Pass Ultimate's price is going up because that I think is
Yeah.
inevitable.
Well, yeah,
Because
no, that's inevitable. But the thing is that Game Pass Ultimate, we can understand that going up in price. Right now,
yeah,
it's $15 a month. I would be fine paying 20 a month for it right now. Like that's just where I am with it.
don't
Yeah.
tell
But
them that.
whatever, it's gonna happen anyway.
Yeah.
Regardless, though, like when you say that you're gonna raise the Xbox Live Gold price, which we've just talked about, is just dipped in quality, and it's just internet for just multiplayer that you can do for free online on your PC anyway. Like it doesn't make sense.
And
I would
and
be interested. I think maybe the tipping point for this entire conversation on Microsoft's side is how much does Xbox Live Gold subscriptions bring in anymore? Like, what is that um, net gain in terms of profit that they're getting from
Oh, it's a
that, as
lot.
opposed to, and I'm talking strict people that just pay for gold, aren't part of Game Pass Ultimate, don't maybe buy Game Pass on the side or anything, like just gold, because those are the people that you're going to lose potentially. if they make a decision to you know charge more for it or whatever. Like those people are they're most likely. So I wonder if they looked at that and said, okay, the people that want Game Pass are just going to continue doing that because that's the best deal anyway. We might lose a small fraction, but in the end, we're going to lose more money. So I wonder if it's a conversation of it's not making enough, and that's where that price hike came from.
I think
they're trying to push more out of it.
I think that could be at like corporate higher ups where like, hey, your numbers are real low here compared to what they were. Bring those up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always felt like that was a move to just push more people to Game Pass Ultimate. Because that price wasn't going up at all.
Move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying it was a good idea, but that's pretty much what I imagine they were going for.
I really think at this point you just have to. You have to. I don't think it makes any sense not to. But you've got to combine these services. You got to break them down and just make it simpler to understand. There should never be a point where your consumer is confused about the products you offer and what you get with each services. And I think Games with Gold really tiptoes that line in a way. And it's just time for it either to be rolled in with the Game Pass stuff or, taken out behind the barn and
rip the Band-Aid off, because at this point it's almost like their two options are either let everybody who has Xbox Live Gold get all of those services they're paying for free and tell them, hey, come to Game Pass to get, these games, or try and just tell them, hey, you got to come to Game Pass. Or
my thing would be just converting the gold only members into your base Game Pass subscription.
Right.
Like you don't give them the ultimate, you don't give them like PC games, but like just like, hey, yeah, we're getting rid of Xbox Live Gold because this is going to be free going forward. But since you already have put this money into a subscription, we're just going to convert that over to our base Xbox Game Pass subscription. So now you have all these games that you can download at any time. If you have a PC, just upgrade to Ultimate for $5 more. Boom. Like, that would be such a great deal, and so many people would be happy.
I think Microsoft's afraid of that blowback, though, because you are going to have upset people in terms of any kind of value that they think they're losing or going away. Regardless, I think making gold free is the way to go. But if people think that they're losing by not getting free games anymore, or added benefits that gold give you dwindling as they may be, there's going to be those people. I think certainly,
I just
especially
really
if you're
feel the hundreds of
not
games
giving
that you
money
give Game
back.
Pass will outweigh all.
Certainly,
of that
no. I agree. I think Game Pass is absolutely the answer here, but I just wonder if that's part of their thought process, or losing that dedicated income from those people. Because if you don't have that group of people paying $60 a year anymore, again, how much are they losing from that?
Because you got to think also about like the Joe Schmo who doesn't, isn't on a podcast like us, doesn't really care about many games. Like they only play Madden every year, right? Or they only play Call of Duty year after year, and they don't really care about any other games. Like there's a large market for that, and I could see Xbox not wanting to give them, the ability to play online for free by getting rid of Xbox Live Gold and, saying, hey, you could play online for free and you could party chat for free, stuff like that.
They're already going down that route though. Like those are the
With
updates that
chat,
recent party chat's free.
And like Fortnite,
Call of Duty
Warzone
is going to be able to be played without Live Gold really soon here. Like they're already going down that road. So I don't know.
But
we're in April right now. I really hope
that's a parody thing, though. They're just following the rest of the industry, because Sony has already been doing that with those free games since they released with your Fortnites and stuff. So this is a move that had to happen ages ago.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying I want to see them go further with that. Maybe it's at their summer event this year, since we are in April now. We're only a couple months away from a big event.
Yeah. Gosh. There's going to be an E3 this year.
Yeah, let's roll into that fucking discussion, huh?
That's shocking to me. Like that just doesn't make sense when I think about it.
So
there were only a couple months from that.
So basically this article from Video Games Chronicle kind of headlines it out. E3 2021 U-turns on proposal to put some content behind paywall. So is this all sparking off that tweet familiar that I saw?
So, from what I've gathered on this so far, is there was something that originally tipped people off. Let me find it in this article because it's been edited since. Um, but there was some kind of like internal memo or some kind of documentation that suggested that there would be packages for sale that got you exclusive content or exclusive information from E3 that wasn't accessible through the normal channels. So normally you just tune into whatever you're trying to watch on Twitch, YouTube, whatever it is, and you can watch that completely free. You don't have to pay for any of it. You see the same thing that a lot of people see on the show floor in terms of being in those actual conference rooms. So their thought was to monetize it and start charging people money for it, and have developers get exclusive deals with fans, and trying to make the case for it being some big value add. And when it got out there, people understandably got pissed because that's a stupid idea for E3 especially. And they immediately walked it back, got out and said, no, we never were going to do that. That was just a tiny thought on a poster board somewhere deep in a dark office that we were never going to bring to the light of day.
Yeah,
And
they posted a tweet saying E3's 2021 digital show is a free event for all attendees. We're excited to fill you in on all the real news for the event very soon.
Yeah. So they're taking a very fake news stance to it, which I think is strange. I don't think that helps things, to be honest with you. But
it's what it is.
It's E3, man. The ESA
you got people like Jeff Keighley posting smack tweets at them, being like, "Summer's Game Fest is free." So
yeah,
whatever.
It's silly. It's absolutely silly. So, I worry that this is going to be a kind of flag of what's to come. E3. There's been rumblings of them trying to monetize with what they call in-queue activations and all kinds of different marketing schemes and ploys, which I understand. They got to pay the bills somehow. E3 is certainly not the behemoth that it once was, and especially when you talk about people not wanting to go out into public anymore for a lot of great reasons. Big things like E3 just don't make sense. So finding an additional revenue stream, I think, is important, obviously. But this really tiptoes the line of really not okay for me.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a dumb move if stuff is behind a paywall. But I mean, we'll see, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, like they said, they're gonna announce their real plans soon. We're like I said a little bit ago, we're just a couple months away from a big show. So they've got to come whatever they're planning soon.
Who do you think even shows up?
In terms of giving
stuff here?
Conferences and stuff for them?
Yeah. Who's even at 2021 E3?
For a digital only event, it would be those companies that just wouldn't run their own shows. So you're not gonna have dedicated pressers, I wouldn't think, for Microsoft.
Probably your Squeenix,
Sony. No, Square Enix wouldn't be here either. They
think
would.
So?
They had their own show.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Who would be?
The people that don't.
Easy to narrow down.
Yeah, which is who? Start naming people you
so
think would.
Tell us.
Activision.
Sure. Okay, that makes sense.
Other
At what point would Activision just do their own thing?
Sony, though.
They could, but we always see them at every show imaginable as well. So
yeah,
right.
Yeah,
right.
they could just piecemeal their marketing with other, whether it's a Switch game or Xbox or PlayStation.
Yeah, they'll show the same trailer at every show they can. They don't care.
Yeah.
Dude, I just can't wait to see a Just Dance montage. Let's go.
Ubisoft, baby. Hell yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, Nintendo's there.
No.
With their Treehouse stuff, they're all pre-recorded things that they've been doing for a long time anyway.
No. I'm not even sure Nintendo will have a summer show this year again.
Yeah.
So like, who knows?
Gotta talk about that Switch Pro sometime, baby.
And
I
Breath of
mean,
the Wild too.
So Mario died this week. This is a sidebar right here.
Yeah,
Mario
yeah,
is
we talked
dead.
about that last week.
Yeah, I know you did. But like leading up to that day this week, there was like a slight hope. Is like they have to say something, right? They said nothing. Nothing.
No, they said something. They just stuck
Confirmed.
with what they were doing. Yeah.
Right,
It's so
yeah.
stupid.
Did you see that CNN thought that everyone thought it was serious that Mario was dying?
Yes.
Yes. They're like the
Oh,
gaming world is
CNN.
concerned, or whatever they said. Man.
Yeah.
Very good.
That's,
But yeah,
to not
it's
understand internet culture.
it doesn't make sense. Like there was a slight. I was like, they have to say something, right? Like what their plan is with these 3 games. That like Super Mario 35, which like is a pretty popular game. I see a lot of people streaming it on Twitch. Not anymore.
I saw a picture. There's a lot of people on the. It's the internet. Obviously, it's going to happen. But there's a lot of people making really good gags on the internet about it, which is probably my favorite non-shitty part about this whole situation. Like somebody posted a picture of their 3D All-Stars case open, and they were holding it in their hand, and the text on the tweet just said, kitchen window is open, they came, and the cartridge was gone. It was just an empty case. Yeah, like just silly gaffes like that, I think
Yeah.
are really cool. But yeah, what a weird... When does Nintendo ever just start being normal?
They don't. They
Yeah.
apparently from a developer who has worked with Nintendo lately and has had these conversations. It was all anonymous, so who knows if this is real or not. But they kind of came out and confirmed what we all suspected, that the artificial scarcity and everything would drive sales for them, which worked for
Yeah.
Nintendo. Super Mario 3D All-Stars sold over 8 million copies. But at that point, it's not really a scarcity problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
If-
I would argue that many people would have bought it anyway, because those are 2 of the best games of all time and Mario Sunshine. So
Dude, you just stepped on a lot of toes out there.
Yeah, he does it.
I've
every
been
time.
doing
He
this
hates
for
Sunshine,
weeks.
man.
I've been doing this for weeks, okay? So come at me. Tweet me at Revik Shadows. Try and defend Mario Sunshine, and I bet anything I could boot up the game and within 20 minutes find a reason to prove you wrong.
All right. Well, moving on. I don't know who put this on this list or what this is or how to say the name of this game. Is it Balan?
Balan Wonderworld.
Let
Let me tell you.
Okay, hold on. Let me read. Okay, so I'm assuming John's the one that put this on here.
Yes, I did.
John typed out, Balan Wonderworld is a bad game that you should not give the time of day, and then
Yes.
linked
So-
the IGN review video. So
Yeah,
we're
well,
gonna
that was
play
just for you to put up while we talk over it.
Yep.
So when this was first announced last year, I obviously was very excited because this is made by Yuji Naka. He's the creator of Sonic the Hedgehog and Nights in the Dreams. This was a 3D platformer, and I am very vocal.
Seeing it now, I remember us seeing this revealed at some point and talking about it.
I've been very vocal about wanting more 3D platformers. Man, this game is bad. It is not good. So I had to cover it this last weekend instead of playing It Takes Two.
This is the game you sent us a video of with all the jump buttons.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
my god.
So yeah, let's just start off there. The controls of this game, there are 3 different inputs in this game. You have the left stick, which will move you around. You have the bumpers, which will change your costumes, which are pretty much power-ups. We'll get into those here in a second. And you have 6 different buttons that are jump. 6 different buttons that are jump or action, because it depends on what costume you're wearing at that time. If you're wearing a costume that lets you punch, all 6 of those buttons will be on punch, and you cannot jump. In a platformer.
Do they do anything different, or are they just all literally the same animation?
There are 80 different costumes, okay? Each one with its own power. And there's a lot that are the same thing. Just
I have one quick question for you, John. Preference.
What's up?
Would you rather have 6 buttons that all do the same thing, or 1 button that does the thing and 5 buttons that do absolutely nothing?
That's just the same thing. That doesn't matter. That's the same exact situation. It really doesn't matter.
The other.
yeah, no, that doesn't have any bearing on it. But no, this game is okay. Real quick, to get the positive stuff out of the way, because there's a lot of negatives.
Hold on, I'm just picturing the fucking meeting when they're going over the controls. Like, somebody has on a PowerPoint presentation, like, all right, here's the control scheme. It'll be in the menu, and then they put it up there.
Dude, that's
All
the
right,
thing.
guys.
Even in the menus, there's no back button. Everything is accept. You have to scroll down all the way to go back. You
All right,
cannot.
tell me, what does the A button do? Jump. Okay, sweet. What does the B button do? Jump.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
but
A, B,
go
X,
on.
Y, left
X.
trigger, right trigger
What does that
are all
do?
jump.
Hold on, quick question.
Just jump.
Quick question. Is this game on PC? Because if so, I hope every goddamn key jumps. on
Yeah,
my
I
keyboard.
don't know the controls on PC, but it's on everything.
That's gotta
Um,
be incredible.
Yeah. So yeah, to get the positive stuff out of the way, the game does have a really good art style. It's very much that Nights into Dreams kind of art style. You see that in the characters, and the worlds are very empty and everything, but you can see what they were going for. And the cutscenes before every boss fight is generally really charming and everything. Like the boss fights are the best part of this game. But everything else in this game, like when your collectibles in this game are teardrops. There are like 4 different colors. I'll get to those in a second. And golden statues of the main guy, Balin. And that's kind of like your power moons, your power stars, like in a Mario game. You're trying to collect those. And every now and then you see characters in the world, and they're so dead looking, like they look like they have no souls. Every time you run into them, they're just dancing. They do a very creepy dance, and you can walk into them and they disappear. Like they just disappear out of nowhere when you get close. The teardrops, you collect them and you bring them back into the hub world, which is called the Isle of Tims. And Tims are pretty much the Chow of this game. Like I said, Yuji Naka made Sonic the Hedgehog. He made Sonic Adventure, so he had the Chow Garden and everything. They tried working in something like that here, and these Tims, they're like little bird balls. Like it's kind of like a peep if it was just like, you know what I'm saying? So we do the to these guys, and they like grow and everything, but they don't do anything. And like you unlock these playground things, but you can't interact with them at all. Only the Tims can. You just watch them like go down a slide over and over again. And it's like, whoa, why was this even here? Man, there's just so much bad stuff in this game. I wanted it to be so much better than it is.
Did you beat it?
Oh God, no, it's bad. I got so there are 12 worlds in the game, and each world has 2 acts and a boss fight. So kind of like Sonic the Hedgehog in the past, you go through 2 levels and then you have a boss fight, and then you move on to the next world. I got to 5 or 6, and I just couldn't take it anymore. I was like, I am done. It's lifeless. It's not fun. It's easy as all hell. Like, it's so easy. Yeah, this is a bad game. I wouldn't say it's like a 3 or a 4 out of 10. Like, do not give this game your time. And this is made by Yuji Naka. Yeah, it's $60.
Oh my god!
And it's published by Square Enix.
I mean, $10 for every button that jumps, right?
Yeah.
So I've got a question for John and a piece of information for Joel. Question for John. I had a friend who I was talking to about this game who said the soundtrack sounded pretty decent, which I'm sure. It seems like everything around the periphery of this game is better than the actual game. But
it's not amazing, but it's fine.
Sure. Would you have felt better about this game if it wasn't a $60 game? Let's say you paid $40 for it or $30, whatever it is.
That's still too much for it.
What do you think its price point is?
This game needed to be delayed.
Sure.
That's
that bad.
That's the main thing. It needed to be delayed. It needed to be completely reworked. There's just so many bad decisions. There's a costume in here, a power-up, that is literally called, it's a Fox Box, I think. And you're just dressed up as a fox.
I was just about to talk about the Fox Box, baby.
The very description of this costume says it turns you into a box when it feels like it.
Oh my
So
god.
every few seconds,
I saw a
you get turned
video.
into a box, and you can't do anything until that just decides to turn you back into
You've got
normal.
no goddamn control.
I saw a clip in the video that was just up on the stream where he was like running and then he jumped and he turned into a box and just fell to
Yep.
his death.
Yep. You have no input on it.
What? So does it make you
There are
wear
other
this?
things like that as
Does
well.
it
What's
does
that?
Does it make you wear this suit at all?
No, it's your choice to, but that's the main point of the game. It's like Mario going around capturing people in Mario Odyssey. Like that's like supposed to be the main hook of the game, and it's bad.
All right. Well, that was 5 minutes of banter by John Hanson.
I don't ever want to talk about this game again. It's bad.
Don't
and
worry,
I'm
I'll
mad
be,
at it.
I'll be sure
It
to
should
bring
have
it up
been
next
so
week.
much better.
Should've, could've, would've. All right, let's get into some quick news. Xbox backwards compatibility games added to xCloud.
Yeah, this is really cool. So we've all talked about how backwards compatibility is one of Xbox's biggest strengths, and now you can play 360 games on xCloud. I know Oblivion was in there, a bunch of Rare games.
Fable 2, a bunch of Gears games, Oblivion, Perfect Dark Zero, Perfect Dark 64. It looks like it's really small. Viva
I was gonna say, I
Pinata.
think there's some original Xbox games on there too.
Yeah, Morrowind's on there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Jetpack.
Yeah, so
I think that's
took
an
on
OG.
some Bethesda games. Jetpack is a Rare game.
Banjo Kazooie.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know
Speaking
Banjo
of-
Tooie's in there as well.
Yep. Did you ever get that amiibo, John?
Unfortunately, I did not. I missed out.
Oh.
I want it, even though I will never use it, but I want it.
I ordered
Okay.
it, even though I'll probably never use it either. But
Nintendo.
I'll
will
buy
do,
it
like,
from you.
one more print run before they slaughter him, too.
$50,000. Go ahead, Connor.
I was gonna say it's okay. They'll just Nintendo will do like one more print run of him before they slaughter him. It's all good.
Yeah. Moving on. Sony gives impressions of its own exclusive. I'm not sure what this is in reference to.
Yeah. So this was a
This
weird
is the
thing.
Returnal thing.
Yes, it was a weird thing that happened today. Basically, gosh, I had this pulled up and now oh no, there it is. Yeah, so they put up a tweet on Twitter and it says Returnal hands-on preview, deep gameplay systems, rewarding exploration, and psychological horror awaits. Full impressions, and then they gave a link that's on PlayStation.com.
Pretty much, they gave impressions for their own game.
That's
Yeah,
weird.
it's an exclusive.
But
to
they've
their
done
own
this
platform. It's just strange, really.
It's odd.
Isn't really indicative of anything. It's just a really weird thing that you probably shouldn't do because it looks fucking weird.
Mhm.
You know?
That's like me telling everybody we have the greatest podcast ever made. But I'm
Right,
unbiased.
we do.
I'm unbiased though, so
Yeah. me too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're all
So-
unbiased here.
real
Which
weird.
you know, I guess if you couldn't tell that there was going to be a bias to that article when going in to read it, then maybe that's exactly why they made that article. So
Yeah.
Moving
Now,
on.
like I said, they've done that before. I don't think it's as big of a deal as some people put it out to be because once the
Sure.
game comes out and people get their hands on it, then you'll see those real impressions come out. But yeah, don't trust that article for sure.
right.
Moving on, Sony is closing the PS3, PS Vita, and PSP digital stores.
I think
In
they
an
already
era.
shut down the websites for them.
Yeah, so you cannot order anything on like PlayStation.com or whatever
Yeah.
to be downloaded on your device. You have to go on the device itself to do so. But July 2nd is the last date for PS3 and PSP, and then August 27th is the last day for Vita. I mean, this is inevitable with any old console, right?
Except for 360.
Yeah, I find this funny that this was announced and then right after, like a day or two after, Xbox is like, "Hey, all these old games coming to xCloud today."
That is
Like
Todd
really
Howard
convenient.
in his
Yeah.
fucking bathroom just sits up and says, "What's that? You want to play fucking Oblivion on your goddamn cell phone? I've got you. Here's Morrowind too."
Hit the
Like-
button. Somebody hit the button.
Yeah,
Push it
the
live.
Todd Howard button. We need to add it to another platform.
Is Skyrim on xCloud?
Oh God, probably.
It's got to
right?
be on the
It's
way,
got,
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
there's
sure
no way
it's-
it's not.
Yeah, exactly. Moving on. Garrus Body Pillow is now for sale at gear.bioware.com.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so you guys are gonna have to tell me who this is. I know he's from Mass Effect, right? I've never played
Uh-huh.
Mass Effect, so who is he?
He's just a main character, I guess, from like the first and second game, depending.
He's the guy.
He's a guy. No, he's not the main guy.
So he's one of the guys.
Yeah.
He's particularly notable.
He's not the
because
human, is what
internet.
I'm saying.
He's an
Correct.
alien.
Yes.
Yeah,
He's a
I mean, John,
Turian.
if you wanna fuck a pillow that has an alien on it,
Yeah. So that's the
Gear.bioware.com.
thing about Garrus in Mass Effect.
Give me a
is
body
that
pillow with those aliens from Toy Story.
that's
dude,
way fucking weirder than Garrus.
Claw!
The internet is weirdly horny about Garrus. You can romance him in the game, but they're always like strangely on top of that alien butt. So,
On top of it.
yeah.
I'm gonna look up Garrus real quick here.
Yeah, go for it.
I've always been a Rex guy myself, but
Sure.
that's just me, you know.
Yeah.
So release the Rex body pillow that's twice the size
Oh,
of this.
okay,
one.
yeah, I've seen. Isn't this like the main villain?
No.
Man, John, like I don't know a lot about.
Have you
Mass
never
Effect,
played the
but
Mass
you
Effect game?
really don't.
I
know.
literally said I've never played Mass Effect.
Oh my god, I didn't know. I wasn't listening.
No, but there's a
I got
villain that's like him. That's his same species, right?
Mm,
Spoilers.
Sure.
Spoilers.
There's a lot of shit I could come back at that with. Like I guess you could technically say that Garrus is a villain at one point, but
yeah.
you know,
He's the
you
guy
should
that
really
you talk into
play the
shooting
Mass
himself in the
Effect.
head in the first game, right?
All right,
You
let's
should
move on.
really
Let's
play
move
the Mass
on.
Effect Legendary Collection when it comes out.
All right,
I
let's
don't
move
want
on.
to. I'm already putting time into Skyrim, Connor. Don't make me.
I'm not
a
holding
bit
a gun
of
to your head.
news. A bit of news that is not very shocking. The Anthem director has left BioWare.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's all we got for that.
What do you, okay? Yeah, it's not much. So I'm going to ask you a question. What do you think BioWare looks like in like 2 to 3 years? Do you think BioWare even fucking exists at that point?
Yeah.
The name is probably
will.
too popular to fail.
If they haven't closed them down by now, EA will give them a longer leash.
Well, I'm thinking it's like an Atari situation. Like the name just never fucking dies, but what
I
it
mean,
meant.
they have
before
Dragon
totally
Age being
did.
worked on, right? Even though it's like being redone, kind of now.
Yeah,
I've
because
got
it was originally going
concerns.
to be a
Like
it was going to
Anthem.
be a Destiny game.
Online game. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know people fucking get real rock solid for that series.
Yeah, no.
Dude.
To answer Connor's question directly, if they
Yeah.
are ever going to be like something completely different than what they used to be, that's them right now. So like, I don't see
Yeah,
that
yeah.
happening in 2 to 3 years. I think that's just the situation you're in right now. And
Do you
have
think
been for the last
BioWare
couple
ever
years.
gets good again?
Could be.
Probably.
Dragon Age 4 could come out and be like the best game ever, and
You're right.
everyone's like, "Oh, BioWare's back in their ever."
Yeah,
So-
all they got to do is make one more good Mass Effect. Right?
Yeah, they are working on another Mass Effect.
I liked Andromeda. We're not going to talk about that right now. Let's move to the
Hey,
next one.
I liked what I played of it too. Moving on, CD
never really got
Projekt
it.
Red is reconsidering whether Cyberpunk 2077 will get multiplayer or not.
Yeah, so there was talk of them bringing multiplayer to Cyberpunk 2077 later this year before the game released.
I smell a lawsuit.
No,
That's what I
no.
smell.
So the multiplayer stuff was actually prior to launch. They confirmed that the next game they released afterwards was going to be a standalone Cyberpunk multiplayer experience.
That's it, yeah.
Whether it was an add-on, amendment, whatever it is, they did say standalone to some effect. So
Gotcha.
it was meant to be their future path from Cyberpunk and kind of rolling it out into its own series, a la Witcher or whatever you want to call it, with Gwent and all that. But yeah, they came out and basically said that we don't know if that's going to happen at all. And I think that really hinges, at least it's got to, right? It totally hinges on whether or not the work they put into Cyberpunk is worth it. To fix and get that game to a much better or playable state.
Yeah. This also came out alongside news that they're working on a new Witcher and Cyberpunk game side by side. So
Yeah,
they're doing
there was
that
like a
too.
restructuring at the organization. I think that was the big thing with them, and they talked about instead of working singularly on one title over the years, they're going to split and kind of have multiple development studios, which is just the modern video game thing. So
Yeah,
it's not news at all. It's why it's
Yeah.
quick news.
it's just gonna be a long time before you see either of those.
Yep.
True.
Moving on, the Uncharted movie has been delayed yet again.
Only a week though, so
Only a
who
week.
cares?
Wait,
Only a week
Wait, when is
this
it coming
time.
out?
February 18th of next year.
Yeah,
Why the fuck even announce that now? I have a feeling that movie's gonna get delayed like a year.
Well, it's already been delayed a lot. at
I
this
know,
point.
and,
the
and
Mortal
I,
Kombat movie got delayed a week as well, but that one's
Yeah.
at least coming soon.
and the week thing is kind of shitty for Mortal Kombat because people are starting to think they did it because of the release of Justice League. People are thinking they did it so that people who like signed up for the free trial now have to pay for a month if they want to watch Mortal Kombat,
Oh, sure.
which is
Eh.
dumb. But I mean, they gotta make money somehow, right?
That's
Yeah.
not a huge deal to me, but okay.
Yeah, John has 80 burner email accounts, so he's good.
Literally,
Shocker.
that's all you have to do is make a new account. So that's
Shocker.
not a
A
big
company on the internet tries to make more money.
All right, moving on. Let's let you guys talk about your time with It Takes Two so far. I have some B-roll
Yeah.
going. Let's hear
Yeah,
about
so It Takes Two is the new game by Hazelight Studios and Joseph Ferris. We've talked about him a lot in the past, makers of A Way Out and Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. Two games that I think are just absolutely excellent and are just right up there with the best co-op games you can play. And as of this moment, me and Connor have only played about a half hour. You can check that out on our YouTube. We put up the first half hour of gameplay there. And man, this game is charming, and it looks
Yeah.
to be just a culmination of everything that team has learned over the years. And Joseph Ferris's Hollywood directing just put in full force here. Like, this game is beautiful. It animated well. The very beginning here, me and Connor were saying how it's kind of dark and low, but it's still charming and everything. Like, I love everything about it, and the very little bit I've gotten to play it so far. Connor, I'll let you talk a little now.
Yeah, no, I think really you kind of hit the nail on the head with it. For me, this kind of felt like a graduation for the studio in a way. From not that their past games were small or bad or anything like that, but the last two games lacked the level of polish that It Takes Two has, and it's got it in heaps, and it oozes personality at every single moment. And I think that it really feels like they found out what makes their game special, and they found out how to take it to the next level with this video game. We haven't played a ton of it, so obviously it could sour, but reviews are real hot on it so far. Maybe the most impressive thing with the time that we had on it was it controls very, very well. That was one of my biggest issues with A Way Out, is I felt like at times the controls weren't explained well. They were a little clunky. Sometimes it took a little bit to kind of figure out what you were supposed to be doing. There wasn't a great guidance system, but the way they have things laid out in here, it really feels natural when you're puzzle solving in a way that I appreciate. And I love when games have that. They drop nuggets of knowledge on you to culminate in some bigger thing. John and I actually got to the first boss in the video game, which is a giant vacuum cleaner, and it really like took all of the elements that it had spent time with us building, like traversal, environment interaction, different item usage and whatnot, and it just presented it all to us in a very quick fashion, and John and I just clicked into it instantly. It wasn't like we have to think about what to do or really investigate. Like, we saw pieces of things that we did before, and it just made sense, and we were like, oh yeah, I need to be doing this while John goes up here and does this, and then we have to communicate and talk and do this at the same time so that we can then damage the boss. It was almost like Destiny-like in a way. I didn't want to say that because that's like John's naughty word or whatever, but it reminds me of Destiny raiding because it's all mechanic heavy and it's all cooperation based, and I think it's very cool. It reminded me a lot of Portal 2, and I think
That's
John
what I was
kind of
gonna
felt
say. Portal 2
Yeah,
multiplayer.
yeah.
It reminded me more of that.
for yes, the multiplayer specifically. Yeah, and it felt good. That's probably the most important thing is all of the platforming, the puzzle solving. I never felt bad about any of it at any time. I never felt frustrated. I never felt like things were out of my reach in a way or I didn't understand what was going on. It just flowed very naturally and felt really good. Characters charming. Um, Graphically, it's gorgeous as well. I was not expecting it to look as good as it does. So, um, yeah, really cool game. I'm very excited to play more of it. I think it's probably going to be one of my favorite games this year.
It definitely has the potential to be that. Going
Yeah,
back on
if it continues.
going back on the control thing, a big difference between this and A Way Out though is A Way Out was really built around its story. And
Yeah.
while there's definitely aspects of that, this game is for sure a platformer, and
Hmm.
it's very important for them to get those controls right. Going back to Balan, get in. It Takes Two just appears to get everything right so far. Obviously, we're very early in the game, so we'll have to come back with more on that. But definitely, early impressions of the game are very strong, and I can't wait to get back into it.
Yeah, the gameplay I have up right now for the YouTube version of the podcast, it definitely looks like it's way more gameplay based than A Way Out was.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Yeah.
Like 100% more. Because A Way Out, like John said, you could sit there and like listen to the story. Like I remember there was a part I think when you were in prison in A Way Out when you were literally just walking up to things and like seeing what your guy had to say about it essentially as you're trying to
Yeah.
escape
Mhm.
technically.
It was more of an interactive movie in the way that you think about Detroit Become Human or Until Dawn. It wasn't a full hands-on action game by any means whatsoever, and I think this makes that transition into something that is really a full-fledged, action platformer, puzzle solver, whatever you want to call it. It's very, very good, and it's done very, very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just texted Kenny. He said he'd play it with me if I bought it. So he has no idea what it is either. So that's
cool.
a true friend right there who's willing to make that dedication even though he doesn't know what it is. But yeah, I'm excited to try it out. How long is the game? Do you know?
I haven't seen.
I'm gonna look it up. How long?
Man, I've been avoiding everything on it because I want to be as surprised as possible.
It is 7 chapters long, and it's roughly 12 to 15 hours, which is
Okay.
longer than I think. Oh, I think A Way Out was only a few hours, right? Like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
No, it was closer to 10. I'd say it was probably 7 or 8.
It was like what, 8 to 10?
Yeah.
Pulling it up right now.
My guess would be
Main
8 to
story
10.
is about 6 hours. Completionist is 7 hours.
Okay, so
So-
yeah, 5 to 8 hours, I'd say.
I'm just really excited to get into the mini games in there because that was one of the things I love most about A Way Out was just the random mini games they had,
Yeah.
and there's supposed to be a lot of that in It Takes Two. So
I'm hearing about some great Easter eggs too. It kind of feels like their Mario moment, man. It's exciting. I'm very excited to see where this game goes.
yeah, me too.
Yep. Moving on, I haven't played much because, like I said, I was out of town. But what I did start playing yesterday was Octopath Traveler, and I've said it before. Like this is a game I've been wanting to play since it came out, just because the art style is really fucking cool. And I played some of the. They came out with a demo. I remember. I think the day it was announced actually, they came out with a demo. But I started playing that yesterday, and I played for almost 3 hours, which I was surprised. I was letting Outriders download, because since that's on Game Pass now, I'm gonna give that a try this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
me too.
But Octopath Traveler, man, it's a fun game. Like I don't know if it's got its hooks in me like full on yet, like something like Final Fantasy VII would back in the day, where that's like the only game you would play for a month or two. But
Yeah.
as of right now, I'm enjoying what it is. Like I like the combat system. The art style, man, it's so fucking cool.
That game is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't know what the overall hook of the story will be because, like, I started with one guy who was a thief, technically, I think is his class. And each class has their own, like, special ability. So, like, I can walk up to somebody and try and steal something from them, and it tells me the probability of doing it. And if you fail, then your, like, reputation in that town goes down. But as of right now, I'm not really sure what that means. Like, I don't know if I miss out on opportunities and stuff.
Yeah. So it's for anybody unfamiliar that's listening, it's 8 separate protagonists. You can start as any of them, and you can recruit any of them. You don't have to get any of them above and beyond the one that you start with. So it's really a make your own team simulator in a way, and each character has a special ability. I put quite a bit of time into it on Switch, and I'm glad you're talking about it because I've been wanting to replay it and actually beat it on PC now that it's out there. Is that where you're playing it? Is it on PC?
No, I'm playing it on Xbox.
Twitch? Oh, Xbox. Sure.
Yeah, because
I forgot
it just
that
it just came to Game
Xbox,
Pass.
too.
It's on PC
Yeah.
Game Pass as well now.
It is, yeah. And I think I actually installed it. Yeah, it is gorgeous. I can never stop appreciating how pretty that game is ever since that original demo. It's a very interesting experience, and I think as you navigate some of the different biomes in that game, it'll stand out even more, which is really cool. But I had the issue that I think you're starting to have, and it's exactly why I fell off. The world pulled me in, the art pulled me in, even the soundtrack, very, very good. But I never got to a point where I felt like there was a main narrative or some kind of main overarching story that tied everything together. It felt more like a collection of side quests.
Yeah,
than anything.
there's more or less 8 stories, right, within the game.
Yes.
And you can choose to do whichever ones you want because, like, so I started with the thief.
Isn't
for
that the
instance.
selling point of the game, though?
Yes, but it never feels good.
Yeah,
Okay.
like it's strange to me because, like, I started as the thief and I just happened to wander to another character, and so I recruited her to my thing. I played through, like, even when you find one of the other 8 characters or one of the other 7 characters technically, it gives you the option, like, do you want to hear their origin story? And it's like, why wouldn't I? Like,
Right,
can I just, Connor, do you know, can I just recruit them to be on my team and then not even do any of their story?
Yeah. Yep.
That's
So wait,
strange.
I'm confused. So do you pick one character and you play through all the 8 stories as them?
No,
Or
no,
do you pick one character
No,
and then
you
swap?
start as one character, and that is your main character for that playthrough. Okay. Well, that's your starting character for that playthrough. And then you can go whatever direction you want. You can pick nobody else up and just complete that character story, or you can go recruit another one and play through that character story, or not play through it and just have them as a companion. It's totally up to you. You never have to do anybody's story whatsoever, even the character you start with. Though I think that's technically how you get the game end screen for it, if that's what you're looking for. But it's supposed to be a game that you can approach from any angle and get infinitesimally different experiences out of whenever you play it.
I mean, yeah, for me, I think my plan is, like, I wandered off with my first character and I stumbled into the second one. I'm just going to keep playing, like, doing what stories I can of the 2 of them. You know, like, if I'm close to an area that, like, the indicator is green on your map or whatever, saying, hey, this is, like, a story mission. If I'm close to one of those, I'm just going to go to it no matter what character it's for that I have. Like, I'm like, as of right now, I'm not picking favorites in terms of who I want to finish first, second, third.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of going through it.
It's one of those games too that I think you're either going to find a character that's interesting to you and it's going to be motivation enough to see the game through, or you're not really going to see. And that was one of the biggest complaints I heard about it, is that a lot of those characters don't really seem to matter. Even if you play them as your main, there are kind of stories that mean a little more than others, but even then they're not necessarily that impactful or good.
Okay.
In a lot of cases.
I think this has shed a lot of light on the game for me because in my mind I had it made up, you know, there's these 8 different characters. You start as anyone. You find, in my mind I was like, all right, you find all 8, and then you all go do, like, one collective thing,
no.
but it's not that at all. It's just 8 different
Nope.
stories that you can.
You can get everybody if
Yeah,
that's your
yeah.
shit and you want to go through that.
But
or
it's
you
not.
can just play 2.
But it's not for like the great. Like I'm not saving the world by getting all 8 people and then going to one
Correct.
thing.
Yes.
It's just I can get all 8 people and then go do one person's story with.
Have
like,
you
4
played
equipped.
On one hand, I
Kingdom
can
Come
see.
Deliverance?
Sorry, say that again. Kingdom Come.
Have you
Deliverance?
played
No.
Kingdom Come Deliverance?
No, I'm not.
So that game, it's kind of like a Skyrim, but it's historically accurate. It's super realistic. That
Okay.
game makes you feel insignificant in the way that Octopath does. Like, yes, you have a story, but the world totally goes on without you and is completely ignorant of your existence.
Oh, you,
in
oh, you
most
mean
cases.
you mean like Cyberpunk, but in the wrong
kind
ways.
of, yeah.
In the wrong
in
ways.
a way, unintentionally.
Yeah.
Yes. I want to blow your mind with the fact, if you didn't know this, Octopath is actually the first letter of each character's name.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Why would you
I
spoil
actually
that?
knew
Why
about
would
that.
you spoil that, dude? That's the end game.
They'll never bring it up, I promise
No.
you, unless you collect them all. It's like Pokemon. you
That's
get a
why
name badge.
that was one of the reasons why it was called Project Octopath Traveler.
right.
And then they stuck
right.
with it.
And then they said, "Wow, that's a good anagram."
Mm-hmm. They said,
Yeah.
"Wow."
And then they
I'm
said-
very glad that we worked out this anagram
Yeah.
by working backwards and then naming these characters.
they said, "Wow, that's really fucking awesome. Let's not tell anybody."
Okay, we're gonna tell everybody.
Kinda, yeah.
Just not in the game.
But I mean,
Yeah,
so far
yeah.
I'm enjoying what I've played of it. It's definitely going to be like a fun like Saturday morning game for me to pick up and play.
Yeah.
Like when none
That's
of my
what I
friends
want to
are
go
on.
back to it as, is like a palate cleanser or something I can just bounce into when I feel like it.
Yeah, because God knows I'm not doing all these crazy Destiny challenges now. Apparently they've gotten
man.
absurd.
I'm really behind.
So am I now. I didn't play like the past 2 weeks, but
It's
I'm
too much
sure-
video game, man.
I'm sure we'll talk about that in the future.
For sure.
Yeah. I
Connor,
might give Octopath Traveler a try, but I've got some bigger games I gotta knock out first.
Connor, what else have you been playing?
So I've been playing a game called Melty Blood Actress
Yo,
Again.
You play the weirdest
This is
fucking
the
games.
weirdest My
You
Little
play
Pony spin-off
the
you've ever
weirdest
heard, you've ever
fucking
announced.
games. Hold on, let me pull up a video.
All right,
Here we go.
just listen. Melty Blood is actually a cult hit from developer French Bread, which is pretty popular in the fighting game
Gotta
scene.
say, you're really winning me
Oh,
over
dude,
so far.
this is a fighting
Just-
game. What the fuck?
Yes, it is.
That's all Connor
So-
plays is fighting
Christ.
games.
Here's,
Magic the
here's
Gathering.
honestly anymore, it's kind of all I do, and definitely Magic. So French Bread is been on the scene for quite a hot minute, and they're very popular for the Under Night In-Birth games,
Okay,
which
who
is
the
an
fuck
anime.
What is French
No,
Bread?
it's
a developer?
an anime. Okay,
This
French
is
Bread. Yes.
Darkstalkers.
So hold on. French Bread is a game developer.
Yes, French
Okay.
Bread is a game developer that was founded in
Okay.
1995.
Okay. French
Um,
Bread confirmed to be at E3 for sure. Continue.
Maybe so. Actually, the reason I'm playing this is because a lot of new wave fighting games in the anime side of things take inspiration from Melty Blood, and it's considered as one of the better fighting games. So I'm kind of like trekking through gaming history right now in a way, but there's a really cool community mod for it that gives it online net play, and it's very, very good. The game's ridiculous. The premise of it is that every character has like a normal and a vampire version, and you can be either or, but then there's also like 15 variants of every character. So you end up with like 95 options for characters between 18 playable characters. It's absolutely ridiculous and nonsensical, but it's a very good fighting game so far. And the reason I'm getting into it is actually there's a new Melty Blood that was just announced. I think it's called Melty Blood Type Lumina. It's coming out this year on Xbox One, PS4, and Nintendo Switch. So excited for that because I'm always looking for the new hotness when it comes to fighting games. But yeah, it's kind of incoherent as a outsider. If you're not into fighting games, it makes absolutely no sense. But there's a lot of really interesting mechanics in it that translate into some modern video games in a really cool way. So Yeah, I don't want to talk a ton about it because it's totally not your jam. But I thought it would be fun to read off a couple of terms from the game
Oh
just
boy.
to test your fighting game knowledge. So,
Let's do it.
All right,
EX
damage.
shielding.
EX shielding. Is that like when you hold like R in Smash Bros and you have that shield, that bubble?
I
You
feel like that
know,
would be like a perfect block, kind of like when you time it right.
you're not far off. It's essentially like almost a parry in a way where you have
That's
to
what I
time
was
your
looking for,
button
parry,
press
yeah.
exactly to the moment that you're going to get hit in order to block or reflect or whatever with it. Teching. What is teching? Like
Is that
using
that?
it as a sentence.
Is,
I totally teched out of that, man.
I text
Is-
the little green man from Toy Story.
my
That's not it, Chief.
Dude, John, we're finding out
Wait,
way
weren't you
too
just
much.
asking about a body pillow?
Yeah, we're finding out way
Strange,
too much
Yeah.
about his.
That's what I
sexual
was saying. I want a
fantasies.
body pillow with the little green man from Toy Story.
Yo, I'm not allowing this to continue. Teching in my mind, teching is when you're watching, Sonic Fox, and he's playing against some
Okay,
scrub.
all right. So you're gonna get on me about this, but you're gonna get into Sonic Fox. Okay.
Sonic Fox, right? He's fucking playing against Connor on this fucking.
Hey, Sonic's Fox, man. He's
He's like one of the goats,
he's
isn't he?
very fucking good. Yeah,
I know.
He
love
will
him
let
or
you
hate
know.
him.
I mean, teching in my mind is when they just like quick dodge out of the way by hitting like the left stick. That's what I think teching is.
My guess is
Okay.
it's just a super move. I don't know.
My guess is
Urban-
teching is actually pegging for fighting game nerds.
And you
No,
were
that's
getting on me for
furries,
my
Actually, that's
suggestion.
furries.
Okay.
In fighting games, teching. This is what Urban Dictionary says. In fighting games, teching is defined as the process of recovering from hit stun sooner than you would normally by waiting it out. So it's frame advantage, all that fun stuff. I've got another one for you. This one comes directly from Melty Blood. It's shield. There's a real term, by the way. Shield bunker canceling.
That's just putting up a shield and then getting out of it so you can use another attack with less frames, right? Because I feel like I've heard something like that in Smash Brothers.
It's actually closer to a glitch than an actual feature, but they left it in because it was so iconic. You actually cancel out of a block into a move, and it deletes the first couple frames of the move. So you're getting
Yeah.
you're starting up your moves faster.
There's something similar to that in Smash Melee.
Yeah, Smash
Dashing,
is
I think
kind
it's
of a
called.
fighting game for babies. I just pissed off a lot
Alright,
of people on the internet.
John-
by
You're the
saying
one
that.
talking about a visual
Uh,
novel
John, what else have you
that
been
no one's heard
playing?
of.
What-
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
I've been
last
playing more
words.
Scrim, man.
I'll shut up. I
and-
promise.
Alright.
Melty Blood's cool. It's a fighting game. It's real old, and I'm trekking through Game of History. There's a new one coming out, so we'll probably talk about it later. And yeah, they'll probably be at E3 or something. I don't know. I'm gonna find like weird trailers to send you guys of these games, just so you can enjoy those.
No, please,
John,
don't.
what have you been playing?
So I've been playing more Skyrim. It's still really slow, and it's not really hooked me yet. How far into it am I? I've killed 2 dragons so far. The first one, which is like, oh, you're a dragonborn. Oh, you ate a soul. Come to me, blah, blah, blah. And then I was walking towards a quest, and I ran into another dragon that I couldn't kill because I was all alone. I was like, oh, go around him. And then I took on another dragon that was just awakened by Aludar? The main guy, the main dragon.
Alduin.
Alduin. I was close.
Yeah, sure.
So he just woke him up, and then because he was weak, I was able to kill him. So that's where I'm at in the story so far. I'm not crazy about it. It's slow and not really exciting to me so far. But besides
Did you
that,
climb the mountain yet? Is that a thing you've done?
yeah,
Isn't that like
I
the
died.
first thing you should do?
That's what I was asking. I didn't know
Yeah.
how far he got.
I yeah, and when you like jump like 5 feet down, you die. It's stupid. The physics in that game are completely broken. Horses still suck too. Like that's just awful. Yeah. No, I hate the way that the game's physics are. But on a more brighter note, I got back into Outer Worlds, and that game is still awesome. I played the first DLC pack. I missed when it first came out.
So I only played like I only played like that first world that you go to, and then I stopped. I fell off. But I recently when I rebuilt my computer, I downloaded it as a game to like benchmark, like test my computer. And man, that game looks fucking great on PC.
Also looks great on Series X.
Oh yeah,
also really nice.
It has. Sorry, go ahead. I was gonna say it has the enhancement, right? The 60 FPS and stuff now on Series X. I think it came out to be X enhanced.
And the FPS boost? Or are you just talking about the Series X enhancement?
I think it has a Series X enhancement.
Okay, just that then, yeah. Oh no, it doesn't, because I had to move it onto my SSD myself, and the Series X enhancements make you do that anyway. I was thinking of because Skyrim has FPS boost, and I moved that also to my SSD. Let me tell you, Connor, you probably played Skyrim back in the day. How long did loading screens last for you typically?
Have you played GTA 5 recently?
So, well over a minute.
Minutes, yes, minutes, multiple.
Skyrim on my Series X SSD, any single place I've gone, the longest loading screen I've had is 2 seconds.
Oh, hell yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
So, that's actually really nice.
It's the power of Pine Sol, baby.
Outer Worlds is a little longer, but it's still really nice. They didn't have crazy loading times, but it's not anything amazing.
I think it's cut down by like 30 seconds.
It's quite a bit. It's like I said, it's nice, but it's not as good as the Skyrim cut down. But Skyrim is also a 360 game, so
true.
Whatever. Yeah, Outer Worlds. I played the first DLC, Peril on Gorgon. I'm about to get to the new DLC, which just recently came out, Murder on Eridanos. Man, this game is so good. I really can't wait for a sequel to it. Like, I know a lot of people talk about they want Obsidian to work on a new Vegas 2 since Bethesda got in on everything. Man, no, I want them to focus on Outer Worlds because just the charm, the world build characters. Parvati is still one of the best video game sidekicks that you can have in any game. I absolutely love her. Like there was this one mission I played where I had to like go to this underground base and I had to talk to this this leader so I could get a code to get into another area on Gorgon. And I was able to just walk in without a fight because I talked to the guard at the front and I told him that Parvati was dating the leader of the place. And because I had done that in the main game, and she was like actually the girlfriend of the woman that was running everything, I got to just like walk past all the enemies and just go straight to
that's awesome
the objective. Like I love that stuff. Yeah, Outer Worlds is amazing, and I'm so excited to play more of it.
Yeah, it's something I want to go back to for sure because I think like a month ago I started playing Doom Eternal, and I want to beat that. Game. Yeah,
also been playing that as well.
I want to beat that before I jump into anything else. But yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm excited that you're playing it again. I want to play through it again on my computer just because it looks so cool.
Yeah,
so cool. All right, well, I think that does it for Pixel Street Podcast, episode 138. You can find us on Twitter at Pixel Street, YouTube by searching for Pixel Street Videos. Check it out this weekend or beginning of next week. I'm sure John and Connor will have another Let's Play of It Takes Two up. Is that your plan?
Hoping so.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hoping to
at least one
time into that here real soon.
Yep. Listen to us on your podcast platform of choice on Friday mornings. We live stream it sometimes. We're going to hopefully get a better, more consistent schedule with that. Yep. Probably, that'll honestly will probably happen once John gets a new computer.
Maybe.
We'll see. I'm saying it'll be more consistent in terms of like if I'm not there a week, then there's probably not going to be a live stream.
Yeah, the only reason we haven't streamed the last couple of weeks is because I was running the show and my PC has issues with streaming. So we'll see.
Yep, we'll see. You can find me on Twitter at Campo63 or twitch.tv/Campo63. Connor, where are you at on the internet?
Twitter or Twitch at The Real Birch. Birch like the tree without the I, BRCH. Come find me. Yell your opinions at me. I think Smash is not a very good competitive fighting game.
Tell them how bad Bloody Mary is.
What is Bloody Mary?
That game you were talking about, right?
No, that's Melty Blood. Nice try though. You know, we would love to have you. It sounds like we're playing Among Us here soon. We'd love to have you among us.
Dude, you fucking got them, man. They're gonna be there.
Thanks.
Our Discord's gonna be flooded.
April Fool, I got you. April Fools.
April
We're
Fools.
gonna break the Among Us servers now.
April Fools. We're playing fucking Metal Blood or whatever the fuck. John,
I give up.
John, where are you at on the internet?
On Twitter, I am at Revic Shadows. You can also find my writing on GamePro.com. Recently, I wrote about Balan Wonderworld. So, you know what? Skip that. You know what? Don't check that out. I don't care. It's not good. Yeah, other than that, yeah, come play with us this weekend. And maybe I hope to have a new list video out in the near future, but I'm not.
Cool. We will be right back here next week with Pixel Street Podcast episode 139.
Bye.
See you when we see you.
Never.